Hello and welcome to this session on iVend reports and dashboards. My name is Manish, and along with my colleague Shweta, who is the product manager for reports and dashboards, we will be your host and we'll take you through a brief overview and an example on iVend reports and dashboards for the next, I think, about half an hour or 40 minutes or so. I see people are still joining in, and I would say thank you so much for the overwhelming response. This, I understand, is a very, should I say, very important topic indeed, and I think going by the attendance also a very popular one at that. So while we wait, I just wanted to, a couple of housekeeping items. Please raise your hand if I'm audible enough. Yes. Mr. Qureshi, thank you so much. Yes, I think I'm audible enough. Please press the hand icon on your GoToWebinar control panel for us to know whether we are audible enough or not. So, I mean, it's of course a webinar and formal to that effect, but my sincere request to everyone is to try and make it as interactive as you possibly can. Couple of things which are very important in the context of reports and dashboards, because reporting in iVend Retail is a very powerful tool. We have different ways in which reporting can be done. One, of course, is the most ad hoc way of doing the reporting, which is Query Builder. It earlier used to be a Query Builder. It is now a visual Query Builder. So pretty much on the lines of what in the earlier days used to be a drag and drop thing. It's pretty much the same. So you decide the tables, you link them together, and you're able to generate a report. So that's the most elementary and ad hoc way of generating reports. Can be exported to Excel, etc. Then we have the iVend report designer itself, which is pretty much on the same lines of what the Crystal Reports is. So if anyone who knows how to write reports in Crystal Reports would be able to do this much better, and this report designer is far more feature-rich as compared to the Crystal Reports. So that's two. And the third, of course, are the dashboards, where again the base of the core of which is indeed a query that you would write at the end of the day, but the way you play around with the data, the way you want to create drill downs and the different, should I say, options available, that is more important, and that's far more involved, I think, when you're trying to do dashboards. Dashboards are that much more interactive as compared to the reports. Reports are pretty much static in nature. Dashboards will give you, whenever executed, will give you real-time data. And more importantly, talking about dashboards, in iVend Retail, you also have the option of publishing these dashboards on a static IP, and as a result, you can access these dashboards on a mobile device. So accessing these dashboards on a mobile device, you require a licensed component called the web viewer, and more on that in a different session. But here, today the agenda is to talk predominantly and primarily about the report designer and the dashboards. As I said, I'm joined in by my colleague Shweta, and we have picked up an example. We are trying to we'll create a report and a dashboard for net sales by product group. So we have picked up a very simple example, net sales by product group, and when we go to the dashboards, time permitting, we would also try and see if we can drill it down further from a product group to the product level and how the data would look thereof. So that's the broad agenda. As I said, one, thank you very much for joining. Second, please try and make it as interactive as we possibly can. You can use the questions window, you can use the chat window, you can raise your hand, and I will unmute the line, and we'll try and answer as many questions as we possibly can. So with that said, I will hand it over to Shweta, who will take you through the entire sessions of 45 minutes to an hour. Over to you, Shweta.
Thank you, Manish. Hello, everyone. I'm Shweta, and here on I'll be taking the session forward. Just to ensure, before proceeding further, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, Shweta, you are.
Okay, thank you so much, Manish. So let's talk about the iVend report designer first. When we say iVend Report Designer, using this tool, you can build simple reports, you can build complex reports, you can build very complicated reports. But any report will be built and as precisely and quickly as possible. So we can say that the engine of our reporting tool is not only powerful but also very functional. It has huge variety of components such as charts, crosstab, drill down, table, and so on. And each component is enriched with multiple properties. To name them, a few have been mentioned here, which is available at runtime. So you have the ability to edit reports in the iVend itself. It has user-friendly interface which allows you, which is actually very professional, and it has docking windows, toolbars, hotkeys, wizards, and so on. Then we have drag and drop from dictionary. So when I say drag and drop from dictionary, you can actually drag components and place it into the designer. You can drag data sources, columns, variables, functions, parameters, what and what not. Actually, anything can be just dragged and dropped onto the designer screen. Then you have data sorting, grouping, and filtering. Using iVend Report Designer, data can be grouped, sorted, filtered, and logically bound. And let me tell you, there are absolutely no limitations on this operation. Then we have reports with grouping. This report designer is able to group data using both simple and complicated conditions. You can have multiple nesting. And when I say multiple nesting, you can actually have groups one into another. And you can actually have unlimited groupings on a report. Then we have charts. The designer supports comprehensive set of charts, and the best chart style is based upon your data. So you absolutely have, you can use any type of chart, which is like bar chart, donut, pie, scatter chart, whatever you think will best suit your data, you can use it. Then we have handy separation of a report template into pages, which is the designer allows you to place each section on a different page. This separation allows the report creation faster and increases the visual performance. So we can actually say that this makes it easy for the programmer to maintain the complex reports. Then we have handy report preview. Using iVend reports, you can display a whole page or two pages side by side so that it becomes visually less complicated. And actually, when I want to understand things not complicated at all, it actually helps a lot. Then we have summary operations. You can perform summary operations at report level, group level, column, page level, any level you want. And some of the aggregate functions which you can use are sum, average, maximum, minimum, count, first, last, and the list is never ending. So you can use what all aggregate functions you can think of, you can use it using iVend Report Designer. Also, it is not necessary to put this component in footer band. Totals can be output in any part of a report. And all this is without writing any code, any single line of code. It's just drag and drop and select few options here and there, and then you have a report ready. Then you have various export formats available. The reports can be exported to more than 20 formats. Few of the common ones are PDF, RTF, HTML, Excel, Word, and again the list is never ending. So yeah, you can export it to n number of the formats. Moving on to the next slide, this is how the report designer looks like. It has a ribbon UI and tabs that are grouped instruments, thereby reducing the number of toolbars that we have. If I want to classify broadly, then I would name this as formatting toolbar, expert tools, and this is the insert tools. Now let us have a detailed look of these tools which are available. So we have various tools, bands, shapes, and components available in the designer. When rendering a report, actually there is a definite order in which the bands are generated because every band has specific functionality. So to make the structure of reports easier to understand and look more clearer, each type of band has its own color. So as you can see here, report bands are green in color. Then we have group header which are slightly red, brick red in color. Then we have page headers and footers which are blue in color. So we have, every band has its own color. And also it is possible to use as many bands of one type as you wish. For example, you can use 2 header bands and they will be output in the order of their position on a page. In other words, I can say the band furthest up the page will be printed first, followed by the other bands of the same type. So this was the overview of the report designer. Now let's go to the product demo. So to open the report designer screen, first let's go to the management console, and then the navigation path is you go to reports, designer label, and then report designer. A report in the designer can be created using the report tools and components or using wizards. So these are the wizards which are available, which is standard, master detail, label, chart, and crosstab. Wizards actually help you creating a report step by step. So they'll actually guide you. Now let me create a sample using the tools and components available. So these are the actual properties available, but first to start the creation, you need to have a data set available. For that, you need to click this dictionary tab, and then here you get this data sources. Under data sources, you need to double click this data source so that this connection, by default iVend connection is already established, so you will get iVend connection. Then you select iVend connection, right click on this, and then you'll get these options. From this, select new data source. Here again specify the connection, which is iVend, and you say OK. So it will populate or retrieve all the database objects, which includes your tables, procedures, and views. Let's have a look here. Yeah, so it has listed down all the objects. Plus, along with this, you can also use, or if you just want to use your customized query, you can very well use that also. So let me create this sample using the query which I have created. So for that, click new query. And then I already have a query handy. I'll use that one. Simply copy and paste this query here. And then you retrieve columns to get the columns which was there in your select query. So I have product group, store, product, net sales, and so on in this query. And I'll rename this data source as demo query. Let me name it as demo query. Okay. So yeah, click OK. So as soon as I click OK, the query appears here. Now again you have to select this query and say OK. So once I have specified the data source, now you can see it has appeared here. So now there are two ways. You place various bands, like you can place bands and then you place a text box and then in this text box you can assign the field or object you want, or the simplest way is, let me delete everything, select the data set, drag and drop it here. That is the easiest way to place the fields onto the designer screen. So here you can select the fields which you want to be part of this report. So let me say store, product, and then net sales. And for some reasons I want store to be second column and product to be the first one. So you can just select this column.
Shweta, what you really want, rather than selecting the product, you may like to select the product group. Otherwise, your report will be way too long. So just instead of product, select product group.
Okay, I'll do that. Simply select this product. Okay, let me just reset everything and say product group, store, and net sales. Okay, and let's say if I want store to be first column and then product group and sales, you just have to select the field and say up arrow, and it will rearrange the columns as per your specified order. And then here you have an option to say you want your data to be retrieved in data format or table format. Let's for now proceed with data format, and then I want header and footer to be automatically part of this data. So it is selected, header and footer. Now say OK. So as you can see, my fields are already here. Let's have a preview, which would be raw one, but let's see how does it look like. So this is how, see, it has automatically given the headers to my report, and this is the data. Now let me introduce, okay, now let me just format this a bit so that it looks more, it looks good, right? So let me add, let's say green color, give it a border, then center align it, and for the data part, let me give it blue color. Okay, and then let's center align it and then border. Okay, so now when I preview it, see, here I have my formatted report. Now if I want to have a group, I want to add a group to it. So what I'll do, I'll just select this group header band, click this header band and click anywhere on the designer screen. It will ask you for the field, the group header field. I say product group. I want this to be my header field. Now what I'll do, I'll place all my components beneath this. Okay. And what do I want to be printed in my group header section? I want product group to be printed in the header section. So what I'll do, I'll just place a text field and assign product group here. Okay, and here in the data section, let me replace column product group with product. Okay. Let me give it a different color so that it is easy to identify. Bold, and then I give it font size of 12. Okay, now let's preview it. When I say full screen, okay, so these are the apparels I have in the system, and now when I go down, then I have bedding and furniture, then I have books. So it has grouped my data. So yeah, we have just now created a sample of how to use group header and then how to place data. And yes, if you want to place something in the footer, let me just put a count in the footer. You just need to double click this footer section, then you say summary. In summary, you can specify what summary function you want. Let's say I want count of, specify the data band. Okay, and then column, I want count of products. Okay, now when I say okay, it gives me a count here. Okay, I specified at the end of the report, so it is giving me total of 220 products. You can specify it at group footer level or page level or any level you want. So with this, we have successfully created a report.
Smita, hi, this is Manish. I also wanted you to, pick up an existing report
Okay.
and talk about how can I edit an existing report and how best do I get it back into the system and how do I, put it in the menu. I mean, the whole discussion around not needing to compile it and all that. Can you
Okay.
also explain that a bit more?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Before proceeding there, I would just quickly show how to save this report and get it into iVend.
All right, fair enough.
Okay, so now this is the sample I have just created. Now to import any report into iVend, there are two steps involved. First, the report creation, then which we are already done. Now the second step is to save this report at some location, and then from there we'll import it into iVend. So now I'll just save it in desktop, and I'll call this as demo report 1. Okay, and then save it. So it's there on my desktop here. Now to import it into iVend, you need to go to Administration, Application Setup, Report Manager. And now since I'm importing a new template, I have to say new. In case, okay, I'll take that step later on. I'll just explain how to import a new report. So yeah, you click new and then specify here demo report 1, the description of the report, and you need to specify the report path, which is there on my desktop. Okay. Now, if you already have an XML, you can specify the path here, or otherwise, when you say OK, it will ask you, XML file is not selected. Do you want system to generate it automatically? If you do not have one handy, say yes. So when I say yes, it automatically creates an XML and save it into the database. And now you can see this report has been imported into iVend. So, okay. But now to get this report appear in the reports list, you need to restart the iVend application. So let's quickly restart it. Okay. This is the management console. It is just initializing all these subsystems and framework. Okay, pass on your credentials. Okay, so now when I go to reports, and since you can specify the category also. By default it is general. So let me see under general category, you can see this demo report 1, which we just created. So let's see the preview of this, how it looks like here. Say okay. And yeah, this is my report which we just created. So this is how you create and import a new template into iVend. Now let's talk about how to edit the existing one. When we think about or we plan editing an existing report, as rightly quoted by Manish, it does not actually need to be compiled, or there are not many processes associated with it. It is very simple. You just need to select whatever report you want to edit. Let me just edit the report which we created just now. So you select the report, you export it, you specify the path where you want it to be exported, and then you say save. Since I already have this report on my desktop, I am not saying save. Otherwise, okay, let me save it. It will ask, do you want to replace it? I say yes. Okay, since it already exists, it is saying it is existing. Now I have exported the report. Now the second part is I want to edit it. For that you need to open the designer screen, go to report designer, and then you say file, open, and then here you select the path. So this is demo report 1 IRT, and here you have your report. So you can edit or you can place.
Shweta, you go slightly slow because the screen is rendering very slow.
Okay,
So you want to be slightly slow in your steps.
okay. I'll take care of that. Okay, so this is, we have just opened a report to edit it. So do the changes whatever, let me just change the color. Do whatever changes you want to do, and then you can save it and follow the same steps which we did while importing a new template, which is like say okay and then save it. Please ensure that you're saving the report with the same name. In case you are editing it, the name should be consistent. The name should remain the same. It should not be changed. So mine was demo report 1 IRT. I have to save it with the same name. Now to import the edited report into iVend, let's once again go to report manager screen, and then here select the report which you want. Yeah, this is the report. You double click it or you say edit, and then again you specify the path of the edited report and okay. So this is how you import a report. You edit and import a report into iVend. Let's have a preview of it. How does it look like? Once you create a new report, actually you need to restart the management console. For the editing purpose, you need not restart. It takes the changes. So you can see we changed the color from brick red to purple and it is appearing here. So yeah, this is how you edit a report. So with this, we have actually completed creation of new report, editing a report, and importing everything into iVend. So okay.
Yeah, on this, before we go any further, I just want to take a small pause here and open the session for any kind of questions. If you have any questions so far, as I said, you can use the questions option, you can use the chat option, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute the lines. All right, so if we don't have any questions for now, what we will do is, Shweta, we'll just move on and talk about the dashboards a bit, because that's the more interesting part. Let's continue and talk about the dashboards.
Okay. So let me quickly go to that slide.
I think what we really want to do, Shweta, is rather than doing the slide, you just go to the product, and we know what we really want to create, and it'll be easier for us to explain it there.
Okay. So okay, then let me quickly jump to the product demo. Okay, so let's talk about when we say iVend dashboard designer, we all know its features. Still, I'll just take few moments, or I'll just mention few of the points. What outstands our designer, this dashboard designer. Actually, it's in iVend report designer's information-rich decision support system allows you to select appropriate UI element and dropping data fields onto corresponding arguments, values, and series. And because iVend dashboard automatically provides the best data visualization option, results are immediate, accurate, and always relevant. So now let me quickly go to the dashboard designer screen. But before we start or we actually create a dashboard, design a dashboard, there are two steps involved to it. First, you need to have a data set and then you design a dashboard. So let me quickly guide you how to define a data set into iVend. Now, when I say creating a query or defining a data set into iVend, this might or might not be used for data dashboard creation. Here you already have existing list of queries and probably you want to add one more query to it. So you just need to say new and then yeah, here is the section. You write your query, or in case you already have a query, you can just copy and paste it. Since I have one, I am just pasting it here, and then you can execute it to see if it is giving any errors or any exceptions, or this is what you want. You can have a look here itself. Okay, and you need to.
Shweta, I have a question. This is Manish.
Yeah, yeah. Hi, Manish. Yeah.
I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just elaborate further as to how would a query written for a dashboard be different than a query written for, let's say, a report designer, or maybe a query written for a query builder? So how, in your opinion, how would the three be different? Would they be different at all in the first place? And if yes, then what care should someone take when you're writing a query specifically for a dashboard design?
Actually, okay, let me tell you, when we are writing a query in Query Builder or this Query Builder screen, uh, this might be or might not be used for dashboard. We are just writing a query. So when you are writing a query, you might not have a purpose to use it into dashboard or iVend reports. You just want to execute it and have the reports, have the result in the Excel. So that is how the query builder works. Now, to add on to this, when I am designing a dashboard, I definitely need a query. So for that purpose, I need a query from this query builder. Okay, let me, maybe I'm not making it easy to sound. Let me say query builder is the superset. So you have all the queries here, out of which few of the queries would be used by the dashboard. Few of them will not be used by the dashboard, but I need it out of reports and dashboard to have my data. Did it make any sense?
No.
Okay. Okay.
So my question is very different. What I'm trying to understand is when I'm writing for the purpose of creating a dashboard, okay, what is it that I have to keep in mind when I'm trying to write that, just the query per se? Forget the visualization for a moment. What is it that I have to keep in mind? Should I keep in mind that this is a query which will eventually be represented as a pie chart or a scatter graph or a histogram? Does the formulation of a query dependent uh, on the on the chart that I eventually want to use?
Actually, I would say it is which type of widget I choose to display my data. Actually, both the things are quite different, and it is. I don't think it is going to affect the how you should write your query. While writing a query, I would suggest what things you should be having in mind, what type of data you want to display. So let's say I want to show sales data, or I want to see how many customers did shopping, or what was the quantity of particular product which was sold. So yeah, I definitely need to have in my mind what type of data I want to see in a dashboard or in a report. Now once I
All
have
right,
the data,
understood.
yeah. Yeah, once I have the data, then the next step comes which type of widget will best present my data, or which will suit the data type I have selected. So yeah, the selection of widget is the next step. First you need to write a query, and for the query writing part, you just need to have the idea of the data, what you want to represent.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Okay, you're welcome, Manish. And then, okay, and also to this query builder screen or this query builder is actually quite easy to use. Even if you know the basics of the SQL, you just know the table. You don't know how to write the joins, and you don't know how to group the data or do an order by or things like that. You need not worry. You can just get rid of this query. You just need to know what data I should be pulling in data from. So let's say I need product related data. I just select the product table and it will automatically write the query for me. So the query builder is quite sensible enough to do that work for you. Let's say I write here INV product because I know this is the table from where product related data will be pulled. Okay, INV product. So yeah, when I select this table, you can see here it has automatically written the query. So this is how the query builder works. It is quite easy and quite handy even for the beginners. Only thing you need to know is how, where or in which table what type of data will be there. That is the just basic requirement you need to have. So for this particular scenario, I'll just use the query which I have. Okay, and when I say execute, the query is executing properly and this is the result set. I say okay. You need to specify the ID and description for this query. I say demo query 1. Please note that ID shouldn't be having any spaces in between. For description, you can have spaces or what whatever you want to specify in description. In ID, space is not allowed to maintain the consistency, the naming convention. For that particular reason, it is not allowed here. And you say OK. So you can see this demo query 1. This is the query which we created just now. So the first step for creating any dashboard is done. I now have a data set. Now also let me add one more point. It is not necessary that every time you are creating a dashboard you have to have a new data set. You can also use existing queries to design a dashboard. Since I wanted to show how to create a new query, a new dashboard, I chose this path. Otherwise you can use existing data sets also if that suffices your purpose. So now let's go to the dashboard designer screen. For that, the path is reports, designer label, and then dashboard designer. Here you go to new and specify the ID and description for the dashboard. Let me call this as demo dashboard 1. And then description. And then I say design dashboard. So this is how my designer screen, dashboard designer looks like. These are the various widgets available using which I can design a dashboard. Selecting any type of widget is as simple as you click on the widget and it automatically appears on the designer screen, and you can place any number of widgets till the time it is not getting chaotic. And in case you want to delete any of that widget, you just need to select it and say delete. So yeah, right now as suggested by Manish during the start of the session, we will create a sample using which will show you sales for a particular product group, or rather I should say sales for all the product groups which are there in my database. So for that, I think pie or chart would be the best widget. Let me use the pie one. And okay, so this is my widget. And now let me place this net sales section, which gives me the sales data, onto the values section, and the product group, which is my argument, Let me place this onto the argument section. So as you can see, I have product group wise sales, and here you can actually edit the name of the dashboard and the label names and tooltips, data labels, everything. So now let me just name this as sales, and the dashboard name, let me say it as sales by product group. Okay. Okay, so this is sales by product group and sales. Now in my data labels, I want this to be argument, value and percent. So you can see it shows the value also. And let me place this as donut. And on my tooltip, I want, okay, whatever things you want, value and percent, argument and percent, only percent, you can select it the way you want. So this is how you design a dashboard, and to save it, you just click OK. So when I clicked OK, now again to have it onto this dashboard list, I need to restart my management console. So I'll just quickly restart it. Okay, it is starting the session manager.
So while we're waiting for
Yeah.
hi, this is Manish. So while we're waiting for the system and the application to restart, I
Okay.
just want to take this time to ask if anybody has any questions. As I said, you can use the chat window, the questions option, or raise your hand and I will unmute the line for any questions that you have.
Okay.
So Ahmed has a question. Ahmed, you could possibly use the questions option, and I will be able to answer the question there.
Okay, in the meantime, oh,
So one of the question is, how does this set timer work, Shweta? How would you the timer thing work in this? So if you want to have, let's say, 5 widgets and you want to set the timer for each and every widget, how would that work? And the other question is it possible to see the dashboards on a bigger screen?
okay, actually, okay, let me answer the first question, which was, I think, how does the set timer works? Uh, for
Yes.
the set timer feature is actually on the dashboard level. It is not on the widget level. And okay, yeah, it is there on the widget level. Okay, let me just show you. This set timer. Okay, it's there for the new dashboards. There you can actually specify the time intervals, and after that time interval, your dashboard will be automatically refreshed. So let's say if you have dashboard open for, let's say, an hour, and you specify the timer for, let's say, 10 minutes. So after each 10 minutes, the data for that dashboard will be refreshed. So that is how the timer works. And yeah, you can specify the timing for each widget specifically. And
All right. And
the next question.
uh, so the question Ahmed wants to know is it possible to see the dashboards on a big screen? So Ahmed, what would you really mean by the word big screen? You mean you want to project it somewhere, or what would the question really be?
Project it on a separate screen.
Yeah, that's exactly. Is it possible? What he wants to know is, Shweta, is can I project it somewhere? Yes, of course you can project it somewhere. What you would do is you can have a separate machine or you can have a monitor which is connected to your machine. It could be a laptop, or it could be a desktop, and you can start projecting it there. So yes, it's possible. I mean, for that, all you need is the requisite hardware to you kind of project it. So it should not be a problem.
Yeah, and also to add on to what Manisha said just now, you also have the capability to print and export these dashboards. So you can either export it to PDF or image, so you can have that handy as well.
All right, so Shweta, continue. You were trying to show something, the dashboards.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, we just restarted our management console, and when I click dashboards here, I can see the dashboard which I just created. Uh, I specified the name of the dashboard as since it is appearing twice, but not a matter of concern. Okay, so yeah, this is how the dashboard looks which we designed just now. Okay, so okay, now let me go to the next step, which is editing the existing dashboard. So now since we have this dashboard in the manage iVend, and now if I want to edit it, what I have to do is go to the dashboard designer screen and then go to this demo dashboard one. Now let me just rename the name as well so that it is easy to identify. And then I say design dashboard. When I click design dashboard, the designer screen appears. And now what I'm planning to edit is I want to add a drill down to it. So when I click on any product, it should give me product wise sales. So for that, first you have to select the widget to which you want drill down to be applied. And then you go to data and then you say drill down. Now when you have specified the drill down, you also need to specify which on which field you want data to be drilled down. So I say product. For some reasons it is not allowing.
No, you just drag and put it between the product group and the argument. Just drag it. It should fit in there.
Let me try reopening it. Okay. Okay, for some reasons I really don't know why it is not allowing.
That's what I call as the Murphy's law. That's what I call as the Murphy's law. So just when you want it to work the way you want it to, it'll start misbehaving. Just so you know, guys, the thing did work very well in the morning session that we had on reports and dashboards.
Yeah, and it is actually, yeah, but in case you want to use a drill down thing and you want to drill down the data, then this is how it goes. So I'll just guide you through the steps. You can try it on in case you face any problem or you need any help. You can anyways get back to us at any point of time. So when you want to drill down the data, you need to select the widget, go to data, say drill down, and place as many fields as you want. There is absolutely no limitation to it. So you just place the field there, and now let's say
The other thing that I want to add here is that imagine you have a set of 4 widgets on the dashboard, right? And you want to connect all 4 of them. So what you do is you see this just under the data, you have a multiple master filter. You can either have a single master filter, you can have a multiple master filter. So you select the filter, and if the data set that you have across the different widgets is connected somehow, is relevant, so it will automatically filter based on. So for example, in this case, what we are trying to do is in this donut on the apparel part, we just want to click apparel and then have the data filtered all across the widgets, in case there are, let's say, 4 of them, all of them should show only the apparel related data and not the other data, for example, tools, improvements, sports, and luggage, and etc. So yes, it is possible to have multiple master filter or a single master filter, depending upon the way you want to do this. So they just wanted to add, just because this thing isn't moving ahead from here on, so I thought let me just clarify and have it explained to everyone that the drill down function is a factor of what is it that you want to drill down into, which would be mentioned on the left side here, and that would be kind of dragged and dropped in the argument section. So you have the values and you have the arguments. You just drag the product from here up to here, and you'll be good to go.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, Shweta, it's okay. The idea is just to let people know where exactly things are done rather than to actually show it to them. That's fine. So on that, I think, as I said, I'll again open the forum for any questions that you have. The session is being recorded and would be available on the knowledge portal. Just so you also know that reports and dashboards are a part of the larger umbrella, which is extensibility, which in itself is a huge topic. We will be conducting a series of webinars starting, I think, 21st of the coming one, 21st of June. So we'll have back-to-back webinars in the afternoon and in the evening for 2 consecutive days on the whole, should I say, concept of extensibility, which is reports and dashboard happens to be a part of this. So that's as far as this is concerned. So if you go to the knowledge portal and you log in, and if you can see, go to the right hand side, extreme right hand corner, you see extensibility as a tab. You would be able to see a lot of information there on extensibility. Reports and dashboards are one of the topics which are covered in detail. Shweta, can you just open the knowledge portal?
Yeah,
So
yes.
we are able to show that.
Yeah, I'll just do that. Okay, city access knowledge portal. Okay, so yeah, you sign in, and then
On the right hand side, you don't even have to sign it. Even if you don't sign it, you'll still be able to access it.
correct. Yeah, this is the tab which Manish is talking about. So
Just click there, please.
yeah.
And if you scroll down a bit,
Yeah. Actually, it's the network.
so here on the left hand side are the different options. You have options for add-on development, have an API, report designer, dashboard designer, and under each topic you have documents, knowledge articles, and e-learning videos. So there's a very comprehensive reading material already available on how to go about using the report dashboard designer. But before we actually sign off, Shweta, one moment, can you just go back to the management console
Yeah.
and open one of the dashboards, please?
Okay.
Just go there and okay, all right. See, so on the bottom left hand corner there's a button called set timer. Just open any one of them. Use the one that we were using.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the bottom left is the timer, and here, so if you have many widgets, if you have many widgets here, you just have to specify the interval in seconds,
Yeah.
and they will automatically start refreshing. So Shweta, cancel this and pick up a dashboard which has multiple widgets on it.
Okay, I'll select sales top performers. And I say design dashboard.
So it's taking far more time than what it's supposed to take, but there you are. So under each and every widget, so let's say go to pick up. Yes, so you have option of specifying each and every widget and what should be the interval in seconds for it to refresh.
So you can specify, yeah, for each widget.
All right. So that's as far as the timing part is concerned. So any other question that you have, please, as I said, use the chat window, you go to the questions pane, and I'll be more than happy to answer. Shweta, if I have, let's say, more than one dashboards, okay, how easy would it be for me to you know, represent them in different fonts, for example? If I have one dashboard with 3 widgets, can I have 3 separate font size for fonts in which it can be displayed? I think you can do that. You certainly can do that, but can you just show that very quickly?
Actually, with this particular version, we have a specified font size which automatically gets selected. But yeah, with the upcoming versions, we definitely have the flexibility to set the colors and then font size for each and every widget. So yeah, but for this particular one, the font size is defined already in the code or in the system.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I thought it was possible. I thought it was possible to have different fonts for different widgets in the same dashboard. So sorry, Emma. Till the next time, till the next version comes out, we will have to live with the fact that single version for the entire all the widgets in a dashboard.
Okay, Ahmed has one more question. If I would like to I would like to take a specific one to the front. As in you have 6 widgets and you want to have one particular widget in the front, you can actually export or print a particular widget, but to make one appear in the front, actually, I don't know, or I cannot.
Can we hang on? Just wait. Let me just unmute the line. It'll be far more effective. Just give me a second.
Yeah.
So Ahmed, I'll unmute your line. Give me a second. Yes, Ahmed, please go ahead and ask the question.
Yeah, the question was if I have multiple dashboards in one screen, and I want, for example, in 5 minutes, I want to only see one dashboard at the time on the screen. If I can do that, or if I have to do what she was explaining, like export the dashboard and create a new one for that specific view.
Yes, you can do that way as well. I mean, so let's say, Shweta, can you open a dashboard which has, let's say, 4 widgets? Pick up just cancel this and you'll go there.
Okay.
Just Ahmed, let me try and explain. Shweta, please go to the dashboards. Yes. Okay, so now you have on this dashboard you have 7 of them. Okay, so there are 7 widgets in this.
I have to wait till the screen gets refreshed because I can't see anything yet.
Yeah, Shweta, just wait. Don't do anything.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have, let me just walk you through it. It'll refresh automatically. So let's say I have in this screen 7 of them. Is your question that if all of them have different refresh intervals, they should come one at a time? Or is your question that you would like to have all of them created as separate dashboards? So with this as an example, can you just explain the question?
Yes. Okay. For example, I have all of these dashboards. Then, for widgets, I want to see like only the green field store. I want it to be on top and bigger, not so small. Like I want it big, and then I want it like go back small to see the other one.
Yeah, you can resize them. Of course, they can be resized. They can if the question is resizing, yes, they can be resized.
Yeah, but I mean, like for example, I want only to see this one. I want it to like full screen, just this one, just green field, but
Yeah,
like
you can always create a new dashboard if you want to, but the whole objective of creating multiple widgets in a dashboard is to try and visualize all of them in one go. If you want to visualize them individually, you can always create a new dashboard with just
okay.
for a
I,
greenfield
under,
store.
I understand that point, but for example, if I have more dashboards, they're going to get smaller and smaller to fit in the screen.
Yes.
So in one moment, I will not be able to analyze what number or what store name. Or I would like to double-click one widget and make it bigger so I can see what is inside if I don't understand what. Like, for example, the one that says location. You can see location, sales location, returns and refund location. If the names are larger, I will know where it is. So I would like to double-click that widget and see it bigger, so I can definitely see.
Shweta, can you do that? Can you double click on top of this location and then it'll fill up the screen? Can I do that?
Actually, you can export or print the individual widget, but you
No, I don't. No, I don't want to export. No, I don't want to export it.
no, you cannot double
No,
click.
Ahmed, I think. No, I don't think. Yeah, Ahmed, Shweta is right. I don't think it's possible for us to kind of
Okay, but you understood what I
yeah, I understand. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Yes, understood. What you're saying is, if I were if I'm viewing as this dashboard, which has, let's say, 7 of them, and if I want to see the details of this particular store, the one in the middle, I should be able to double-click this small little widget, and what it should do is fill up the entire screen, and the remaining 6 should go away.
That's it.
Right? No, that's currently not possible.
Okay.
We will have you can either create those separate should I say dashboards.
Okay, I understand. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Ahmed, just to add on this thing, few designing tips for the dashboard, and one of them is be selective. Actually, be selective with how much data you want to display. Don't try to put everything in a single dashboard, because it will make the widgets appear very, very small, and then it would be difficult to analyze the data. So this was just
Okay, I will take that into account.
All right. So Brian, one moment. Ahmed, thank you so much. I'll put you back. I'll mute you again. I'm so sorry.
Okay.
And I will, Brian, I will unmute you in case you have a question. Please go ahead and ask.
I was just wondering if you have, like in this case, there's 7 dashboards and 7 widgets in one dashboard. If there would be one dashboard in each widget, is there a possibility to take all 7 reports and merge them into one big dashboard?
you want to merge various dashboards into one.
Instead of going into one dashboard and recreating the 7 widgets, would it be possible to import an existing dashboard into a widget?
Yes.
So that way I don't have to rebuild each one?
See, actually, you can create a
Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do that. Yes, you can do that, because every widget at the end of the day is a specific query that you're writing. All right. So let's say this one, for example, talks about the sales top performers by store, by sales location, by customer group, etc. So these eventually would be individual queries that have been written. So you could potentially pick up each and every individual query and then create a new dashboard, or vice versa. You can have all of these queries taken, create, no, you won't be able to merge them back into a single, because it really won't make sense, because the information displayed here is very different. So you could create those queries and have these widgets either in part of a larger dashboard or create all of them individually.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yep, that's fine.
So I think with that, if I don't have any more questions, I would like to close the session right now. And as I said, this is the topic which will be visited again and again. We did conduct earlier sessions, but then on popular demand, because this is a very popular thing, and almost every retailer would like to have their reports and dashboards done their way. So partners want to know more and more about this topic so that they are able to, edit the existing ones, create new ones, etc. So with that, I think I would like to close the session, and thank you so much everybody for joining in, and with the promise that we will come back again. Good night and have a great day ahead.
Thank you everyone. Have a nice day.